What's up, everybody? Welcome to Mongols. A little different today. It is Thursday afternoon. It is me, Steve Mattiace, and Josh Brokaw. This is different. Doing it middle of the week on the afternoon. Josh, how you doing?
Good, good. Literally just kind of like worked from home for the last couple of hours. So I was
Mhm.
just turned on my work computer and then I was like, oh yeah, the podcast. Turn to my streaming computer. So
All right, yeah, yeah. Quiet week over here, other than some stuff with soccer, watching the games and whatnot. Yeah, just glad it's not blazing hot out there. Um, so
oh
um,
yeah, Tuesday
yeah,
was we
it's
tailgated for a little bit and I actually had a team outing where this is the game that all my coworkers decided like, hey, it would be fun to go to a Riverhounds game. And
mm,
so I helped organize it. We had about 14 people from my team come. They hung out, they tailgated right next to the Steel Army. They brought a grill. It was great, but it was so hot and I felt so bad. I was like, this is the game you chose to come to.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It has been so hot. I've had the windows open all day, and it's marvelous. So I'm just glad that I can be outside. I had dinner with a buddy last night in town, and he was making dinner. I was like, "What can I bring?" He's like, "Bring some vegetables or something." So I picked some string beans from my garden, and when I walked outside at like 3 o'clock to pick them, like I was just like, "This is absurd!" Like it's so hot. Kaz agrees with us that live at 4 is wild, but that's what we're doing. So yeah, Josh, we've got a few games to talk about. We'll start with last Friday's game up in Portland. We'll talk about Tuesday's game in at home against Miami. Um, and go from there. Overview, Jagermeister Cup up in Portland, a game that we knew had no meaning as both teams were already eliminated. Um, but game ended in regulation in a 2-2 tie, and then Portland got the extra point on the penalty shootout. Um, Josh, give me a takeaway from this game.
Yeah, this is one of those tough ones because I mean, on one hand, we talked about beforehand, it is a game that doesn't matter. Neither team could advance, so like, why bother with it? It's a truly pointless match. Our second one of the year, and this was even more so because the last time, at least, it was mathematically possible for the Hounds to advance
Yeah.
out of the group stage, but this time it wasn't even mathematically possible. So like, absolutely did not matter. Um, so in that with that in mind, sure, it's whatever, who cares? We drew against a lower division team. They have a huge following, so it was like a packed house there. It seemed to matter more to them than it did to us. So I completely understand that coming from like the point of view of like when we played against the Crew, like that, was a bigger game for us than it was for the Crew. So when I look at it like that, I'm like, yeah, makes sense what happened. In front of that huge crowd, cool. But at the same time, it's like you're still like you have the badge on. You are playing a game as a Riverhound. The games matter when you're being played in public, even when they don't matter. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's still discouraging to see a draw.
Sure, I agree. I mean, I think one of the things that I look at this game and say, if we're talking about this game in isolation, the result not great. If you're just looking at the stats, the Hounds were obviously the much better team overall in almost all aspects of it. But the context of it for me really matters. And that's that in the 29th minute, their goalkeeper got a red card. And so we played for 60 plus minutes, a man up. Still conceded 2 goals in that time, and couldn't find a way to get the win away. And so for me, that's where I find this game to be a bit more discouraging. Granted, lots of rotation, but still feel like that's the type of opportunity if you want to build some sort of success on the season. Games like that, they may not matter in terms of the competition, but they matter in terms of building going forward for the season. And this one, just a big disappointment. Um, I'll also be honest, I kind of forgot the Jagermeister Cup rules at first and was like, well, that's a 2-2 draw. I'm ready to turn this off. And it's like, oh, wait, there's a shootout still.
Speaking of the red card, it is a situation where, like, watching that game, seeing the red card, you had to think to yourself, like, I know I did. I'm like, oh, we got this. Like, I don't care how rotated our bench, how much this team is full of bench players. Like, it doesn't matter. We're playing a team, and they're playing with 10 men. Now, something to keep in mind, which I didn't know this right away, but found out while watching the game, was that their keeper that got a red card was their backup keeper, and then the keeper that came in was their starting keeper. So at least they, leveled up their keeper when they went down a man.
Sure.
But with that said, they're still down a man. So you would expect this team to be able to capitalize on that. And that's just not the style we play. Like, I don't think it matters how many players on the field, because they don't want the ball. They want to, do the counterattack. And I don't think that really matters as much when they're down a man.
I mean, I think you're objectively right in that they don't want the ball. They want the counterattack. But I think this is the types of things we've been talking about for a lot of this season, that I'm not even convinced that tactically we want the counterattack. We want, apparently, Bob has said in the past, 15 to 20 shots. We had 18 shots in this game. With, what was it, 75, 71% of the possession, which makes sense when you're up a man. But it feels almost like we were playing so out of the element of, yes, we want to take a lot of shots, but we want a lot of high quality shots. And in this game, there were some great opportunities and we couldn't convert them. There were some great blocks. There were some good saves. The 2 goals came through, I'll say, an excellent goal by Jagermeister, and then a PK that Junior Atu earned and Jagermeister converted, which also doesn't inspire as much confidence as I would hope when to tie a game against a lower division team that you've got an extra man on the field, you need a PK to get that second goal. Let's kind of just hear what someone else has to say about this.
It's time for Mondo's moment, the top moment of the game from the Mandalorian.
This week's Mondo moment for the match against the Hearts of Pine comes in the 71st minute as Burton Jagerson pilots the ball around a bevy of defenders and other Hounds players to score his first goal of the match, tying the game at 1-1. This is the way.
This has been Mondo's moment. Go Hounds.
Okay, so wait, where is he in that?
That was a game that he was playing. I don't know if you can see it, but it's like now playing. And I couldn't read what the game was. I don't know it, but I'm sure Mondo's in the chat probably, so he can tell.
Oh yeah. No, he's popped in a couple of times talking about the weather with Kaz. Yeah, I mean, that is basically the moment of the game for me as well, and everything else just kind of feels like it's like some excitement, but not a great overall team performance. I do want to say though, because of that performance, Bertrand did get named to the Jagermeister team of the round. And so that's great for him. 2 goals is 2 goals. We want to see him scoring more going forward. And so hopefully this helps kind of break through for him and give him some more confidence to find some more goals.
We talked about that before, where it was like, hey, this Jaeger Cup, even the ones that don't matter, these are great opportunities to kind of like just get that moral victory rolling and like be able to actually roll that into better performance in the season. And we didn't see it with was Augie's goal during the game previous in the Jaeger, and now I don't know if we're really seeing it with Bertrand either, but
right. And so maybe I'll say this, put a pin on it, come back to it when we talk about the Miami game. But it felt to me at the end of that game, he had a great performance, and then he starts on the bench at home against Miami. So it's like, well, you just had a guy that just scored 2 goals. Give him the chance. And he didn't get that chance until he came in a little bit later. So, Josh, do you have any other specific takeaways on this game?
No, I don't. This was kind of just sad, and
Yep.
I actually forgot about most of this game. A day after it happened.
I tend to agree. I went back and watched the highlights again, and I was like, there was more that happened in this game. Like we got a lot of chances, but my feeling afterwards was just not great, and because of the outcome, and because we were playing for 60 minutes with an extra man on the field. But that said, we still have to pick our top 3 for this game.
Cool.
So I think we're in agreement that we're picking Jackson, right?
I was saying I'll do the easy one. Jackson.
I'm not going to give you the easy one. We each have to pick a hard one after that. So pick someone else.
You go first. I'll think.
I mean, I think that a game where he started, I thought Charles All played pretty well. He had a lot of opportunities to do things, to get the ball into other players. He was running around like a menace. This was the first time I kind of felt like I saw a lot of what I hope to see out of him, and kind of that combination between what we've seen, especially out of very early Robbie Mertz and Danny Griffin, of just popping up in places and making things hard for the opposing team. And so for me, I like All in this game.
Okay. Trying to think who drew the foul against the keeper.
For the PK?
Yeah. Well, no. For the red card. That was also All. Dang it! I was going to say whoever did that, but that was All. So All drew the red card. So there goes my one idea of who could be.
I've made this really hard for you.
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, whoever got that foul, because that was great. I honestly don't know who else to give it to though. Is there anyone that sticks out? Because we can't really do a defense when we go down 2 goals.
Right.
Against a 10-man team.
Sure. And at the same time, I do want to recognize that not a ton of saves, but and still didn't make the saves he needed to in the shootout. But I actually liked Randolph. I don't think he's in the conversation for top 3, but
he had to make some saves though. Like
he made some big saves. He kept the game closer than it could have been. I don't know.
I mean, honestly, I can't think of anyone else though. So, like, I'm willing to give it to Randolph because who else did better? Like, who else deserves it?
Junior getting the PK?
No, that's true. Junior did. I wasn't even thinking about the PK part. I was just thinking about the red card. But yeah,
I guess probably it's a question of what do we want to prioritize, right? Like, do we want to prioritize the things that gave us a chance for a shootout, or the things that gave us goals?
Yeah. One other Randolph thing, which I thought was actually kind of cool. The Charles All getting the red or drawing the red card, that was directly kicked by Randolph into his path. So basically he assisted on the red card.
I don't think that's an Opta stat that's tracked.
Maybe it should be. Just
should be. All right. So we're going to say Jacqueline, All, and Junior or Randolph? How you feeling?
I'm okay with Junior. I want to give Randolph some credit here. I don't think we have, but you're probably right. He probably doesn't exactly reach the top 3 players, but he had a good game.
Yeah, and had a good game, especially for a player that hasn't had that many chances to show up on the field at goalkeeper. And so I think for me that's kind of nice to see. So yeah, that's that game.
Yeah.
A few days later, come home, have Miami. Miami was in 7th, I believe. Is that where they were? Yeah.
No, they were below the playoff line. They were like 9th place. Yeah.
So a team below us, a team that has been better than they've been historically, but I still was not convinced that this was a clear game either way. and it ended up not being a clear game. And so in this game, it ended 1-1. But took a long time before any of the goals were scored. Miami scored in the 83rd minute, and then we'll talk about Charles All again, scoring on the last play of the game to salvage the draw at home. Yeah, I found this game to be really hard to watch. I found this game, when I went back and watched the highlights, to still be really hard to watch. And so I don't have a lot of positives to say about this game. I'm wondering if there's something that you have to say about this game.
It was disappointing. I mean, this is a game we're about ready to have our, this is the beginning of the homestead. We have, 5 games at home, 4 games at home in a row. And this is probably the easiest one out of those games. The one I expected the most results from, especially if you're, thinking about the fact that it's not like we had a lot of games close together before this game. And the game we did have was against Portland, and we mostly played our bench. So like this game going into it had all of the markings of being the beginning of a homestead or stand, and like for Highmark bringing it back, let's go, and to go down and not answer until the dying seconds of the game, and to basically feel like a draw was a victory because of the fact that we were down the whole time against Miami, not a good team, is quite sad. It just, everything felt just down at this game. And even after the goal, like I was obviously happy we got the goal, but I literally just was sitting there and like I almost jumped up, but I was like, I don't know. Like,
and you were, you were surrounded by your coworkers, and
no, actually,
you
I
were
went to the Steel Army section. My coworkers, I got them bougie seats right in the front row in the grandstand. So they all sat in the grandstand in the front row and right behind the away bench. They had great seats. And I was like, I'm not buying myself a seat because I already have a season ticket. So
So I guess I have one question about this game and how you feel about this game. Do you feel so meh about this game that you think Laura Ellen could cheer you up?
I got a feeling she's going to do the opposite, but let's see.
Let's see what she's got to say.
And now, hey, sir, 1-minute reactions with Laura Ellen.
I don't even know what to say because A, that was such a boring game, and we just, I don't know. And then, I feel like Charles Hall just saved Lily's job. And like, do we celebrate because we beat Miami? I don't know. Well, anyway, it's 1 point. I was gonna say 3 points. It's not even 3 points. It's 1 point. Oh gosh, it feels like half a point maybe. Anyway, I don't know. I have nothing to say because it was boring. I did love the Wicked theme. That was really fun. Although I will say, the announcers can just stop making silly puns because you know who makes silly puns? Me. I'm the one who makes silly puns. So anyway, let's go Riverhounds.
This has been Hey Sir, 1-minute reactions with Laura Ellen.
So I started to feel even worse.
Yeah.
And then I started to feel better because she talked about bringing in silly puns. And then I felt really bad because she didn't give me a silly pun.
What a roller coaster of emotions. Unlike the Hounds, who are not making a roller coaster when it comes to draws, because this is the fourth game in a row with a draw. 4 games in a row, right? Is that right? Yeah, it's 4
I think
games.
so, yeah.
3 league play games, and then also technically the Portland game was a draw. That was the other thing. I saw Vincent after the game. I walked by him as I was putting stuff in the storage container for the Steel Army, and he was like, "Thank God the ref gave us 90 extra seconds." And then because technically that was it 4 minutes? I think was stoppage time, and we were on well into like 6 minutes or something like that, the stoppage time when we got that goal. And then I was like, "Yeah, what is that? 3 in a row?" And he's like, 4.
Oh,
when it comes
man.
to draws. And I was like, yeah. Ugh.
I mean, there's a lot there that just, yeah, that feels like a lot to unpack when you've got one of the coaches just feeling not even, I mean, that's not relief, right? That's just like resignation that we at least got a draw because it could have been worse for our fourth
Yeah.
draw in the row because the ref took forever, right? But like
Right.
also saying that, yes, like granted, we often have pretty close relationships as people on the podcast, people in the Steel Army, getting to know the players and coaching staff at a different level. But like that's still kind of like for him to just be that transparent is like, okay, yeah, he's telling you how he feels, and I guess I'm kind of here for that.
To be fair, we're used to commiserating over soccer because we're both Everton fans. So usually we talk about Everton, kind of just being middle of the road. So
and so you've got that extra special connection.
Yeah, so we just
the misery connection.
We can talk about Riverhounds being middle of the road right now. But yeah, it's just like he's right. Like, if it wasn't for that extra time that we got, we would be talking about a loss here. And I can't bring this into a positive light getting a draw. Like, we're at home. We're playing a team that's below the playoff line. If it wasn't for this game, they would still be below the playoff line. And like, I'm trying to think what they have before this game. Well, yeah, it would be the same. -8 goal differential. Like, it's not like this is a good team by any stretch of the imagination. And then I say that and I realize we have a 0 in our goal differential. So, also not great.
But we wouldn't if we didn't get those 90 extra seconds in the goal. We'd have a negative goal differential as well.
Yeah. And like, that's the thing, because like people online are like, you haven't lost a game in over 5 games and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, but drawing constantly is not gonna cut it. And
Yeah. So I mean, I've definitely got some more thoughts on kind of where you're going with this, but I think that's more of a overall discussion about the team and how I'm feeling about the team. And so let's talk about our even harder, maybe top 3 in this game.
Oh, can I do the easy one first?
You could take Charles Hall.
No, actually, I was going to say, I think the easy one, this one, is Dick. He kept us in this. Like, there was some major saves that he made in this game. And if it wasn't for him, like, this could have been much worse. Like, they could have ran away with it, in my opinion. Like, they had some really good opportunities. So yeah, I would say Dick kept us in this one. I know he was completely down after the first goal, but yeah, that's my opinion.
Okay. I like that shout. I mean, I think he definitely was in the conversation for me, but I wasn't sure if he was going to be top 3. So, okay. Yeah. Eric Dick. Obviously I think we got to put all in there for salvaging the tie. And doing so on a really good play, right? Like, it's not like he just got a cheap goal.
That looked like, that was a purposeful header. It wasn't like it was also, he got a header and he's like just a little bit taller than Mertz. So Mertz, no excuses. You have to get a header, dude.
Complete Josh's life and get the header.
Yes, please. But yeah, so like, the fact that he got that header and it was just great. Like, yeah, I understand, give it to him, but also that was good service from Junior. I mean, I don't know if he's in the running for you. I don't think he did much else that I was really super.
No, I mean, and I think there's a conversation to be had about Junior this season. I still think he has a lot to contribute to this team. But I also recognize that there are times where he's not playing at the same level as we've seen him play in the past. I think the other player for me that I thought, I wouldn't say stood out, because I don't think that there was many things that stood out in this game, but the other player that just played extremely solid and did their job extremely well from the beginning of the night to the end was Bradley Sample. I think he might have actually been the best midfielder on the field for the Hounds on the night.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I actually have no problems with that at all. And Mondo pointed out that I totally forgot that Junior didn't come into like the 8th minute, so
Mhm.
I would want to give him player of the match for or one of the top 3 spots for 10 minutes of work there. So yeah, sample would be cool. Yeah, we have it. I don't have the board behind you, so I don't know, but I'm trying to think.
Yeah. Come on, Mike. While you're on vacation, where's the board? We're useless without it.
Just screenshot the board and like we can put it up as a graphic every once in a while.
Mike's gonna like log in the background, add it to the assets while we're talking.
But yeah, I really like him getting some points here, so for sure.
So, what do you think about Dick Sample All as the ranking?
Did All do anything else besides the goal? I think if he did this game, maybe he deserves the 2nd spot, but I'm trying to think of like anything that stood out.
I think that's part of the problem for me is that he did have a really important impact on the game, but he also didn't come in until the 77th minute.
Yeah,
So he
that's
played
true.
however many extra minutes plus 13.
Yeah,
We're saying 5 or
again,
12
the same
or
thing with
however many
Junior.
extra minutes.
Yeah,
we said the
okay.
ref gave us.
I will concede that. Yeah. So, are you comfortable, Dick, above?
Oh yeah,
Sam?
yeah. No,
Okay,
I think that's a really good shout. I had Sample high. I think you made a really good case for Dick.
cool. Then yeah, I'm down with that.
Cool. So this kind of brings me to okay, we've had these 2 games. You started talking about that conversation with Rob Vincent about 4 draws in a row. Other people online talking about how we haven't lost in a little while. But I don't feel good. I am not enjoying watching this team play right now. And so I'm just kind of stuck in this mode of, it's soccer time. I have to go to the stadium or I've got to turn the game on. And I do it almost out of a sense of obligation, not out of a sense of excitement. And this is the first time in the Bob Willie era that I felt like I am doing this because I need to know what's going on, not because I want to or even think that there's a chance that things are going to work out in our favor. How do you feel?
I mean, I completely understand where you're coming from, and I would not blame anyone for also feeling that way as far as like it's more of an obligation than and sometimes supporting a team feels like that. You know what I mean? Like through
Says
thick
the
and
Everton
thin.
fan.
Exactly. Through thick and thin. And like we've had droughts in the past. Even in the Lily era. Like the scoreless, the longest scoreless run other than the Barracudas that we had there for a while was also pretty rough time to be a Riverhounds fan last year. But this feels different because it's not just one part of the team not clicking. It feels more like there's a lot circling the team right now, and it's just a downer all around. And it sucks because I don't think we have a bad team, and I do think the pieces are there to turn it around. I just don't have any confidence right now that it will get turned around. And was talking to Houndsy's Dan at tailgate. Yost was talking about like kind of feeling pretty positive before that game, like the hopes and dream graph is looking in the right direction, and we're getting a lot of chances, and it feels like what it has in previous years, where like we're on about ready to hit that upswing. And after this game, I looked at him, and he's like, "No, I'm not feeling as confident as I was before the game." So it is a situation where it's like we're on this cusp, and it does not feel like we're going to get over it. And I'm not confident that we will. In other years, it has proven that, oh yeah, it'll happen. We'll get over this hump, and it will, like, the last part of the season will be great. the last third. But I don't know. This really shook me. Getting a last minute draw against Miami, a team that's not great. That's just how do you get excited for that? How do you even begin to think like, oh, we're turning it around? They haven't won a game. Like this is how long? It's like over 5 games they haven't won. I didn't look before that, but just looking at the last 5, a loss in 3 draws, 2 losses and 3 draws in the last 5. It's it's disappointing. That's
Right.
kind of the whole thing. It's disappointing.
Yeah, and I think what's even worse is we don't even have some of our Mongols reliable things to hold on to. That we got a point out of this game because of a last play goal in a game where we still had lower possession, and so. Other than that, Mike's theory of the Hounds only win when we have low possession is getting further and further from the truth in a game like this. But I think for me, it's just that I look at this and I don't know that I have the confidence of, and I've said this so many times, and so I'm trying to, like I was thinking all day, like what do we talk about that isn't just repeating the things we've been saying for weeks? But I still am asking the question of when we need to score, how are we going to be reliably scoring? And so many of the goals that we've gotten in these past 4 draws, and even in the 3 wins preceding that, have not felt like they are goals that are reliable time in and time out, that we're building and finding ways to put teams under pressure to such an extent that the goals are going to come. And that's why I don't feel great about this.
Do you think there's we in the past we've had a mid-season transfer or a loan or something like that, like something to bring in and bring energy to the club? I don't know if that's a possibility. Like, I don't know if they're looking at it. Like, it just doesn't feel like that's even been brought up by the club.
Well, so in some ways you kind of read my mind, because one of the things I was thinking about was, we had that goalless drought last year, 20 minutes away from Harrisburg's record. And it was nice when that changed. And then we went out and got Jagermeister on loan. And that made a big difference. But one of the things for me that stands out as different is last year we were willing to play Eddie Kizza and Burton Jackson on the field at the same time. And for all intents and purposes, it seems like it's few and far between that Bob wants to put Augie Williams and Burton Jackson on the field at the same time. And so, okay, let's go out and find another forward that can contribute and add some energy. I just don't have the confidence that that makes a difference if they're not paired together. And I don't see an indication that they would be.
Is it a situation where he just feels that the two play too similar of a style of striker that he doesn't really see a point in having them both on the field? Maybe what we're looking for is more like a hold-up player or a player who, basically more of a Dos Santos than, an Augie.
Mm-hmm. And okay, so maybe there's something to that. I would say that my expectation was Augie was going to come in, actually play fairly similar to how Eddie Kizza played, but has a much better finishing touch. Obviously, the season hasn't shown that, but I do think there was an element with Eddie Kizza that Bob was pushing him to do things that are not his natural skill set at times. And so he was playing a little more hold up than I think Augie is capable of. And that's not a knock on Augie in any way. It's just, he's a different player.
Yeah. Like maybe more finesse, less brute force.
Right.
And we're missing that brute force player who can just break through, get the ball with his back to goal and turn it around, where Augie's much more going to dribble around and strike than go through.
Yeah. We're gonna let Mike chime in. Is it the case that Bob is just trying to get his best players on the field at the same time, and he can't justify taking off Mertz or Griffin in place of Berton? Playing devil's advocate.
That's fair.
Mike, you're on vacation. Stop talking. No. We'll respond to that.
Yeah, I mean that's very possible. It is a situation where you just put your best players out there sometimes and hope for the best. But it's also, the other side of that is the fact that we're not scoring, so you have to make some change. You can't just put the best players out if we're not scoring. So, oh, look what you did!
I made him feel bad. I hear Mike's question. I hear what you're saying. But then I'm stuck with the question of, in the past few games, we've seen a few goals from Jagermeister, and we've seen very little from Augie. So if it is keeping the best player, is Augie the best player at the moment? Do I think he has more talent than Jagermeister overall? Probably. Maybe Jagermeister ends up being a better player long-term. I don't know. But based on the recent performances, if you're going to be choosing one, why are you not choosing the one that at least has just scored 2 goals?
Yeah. It's hard because I still don't feel like Augie is the issue. It's just how we're playing him. You know what I mean? Like, so
yep.
It feels very kind of counterproductive to be like, well, give someone else a chance. Like, I don't think it matters who you give a chance. If it's the same formation and the same setup, I don't think either one of them scores.
But I think that it's a recognition of Augie may be doing everything he can, but it's not working in this current system. So then why not give someone else a chance to see if they can do something different than what he's doing? That it may not work, but it might not be as bad as it is. If that makes sense. I don't know. Josh, do you have anything new to say?
Not for this. No, I mean, we kind of talked in circles around it, and I don't think there's really much else to say other than maybe new players, maybe new tactics. Obviously, try anything. Just doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Definition of insanity, and that's where we're at.
Yep. I wish I could just play a snippet of the video clips, because I just want on repeat for the rest of the show, and we could just play it, since we're not going to take a full hour, for the next 20 something minutes of Laura Ellen just saying, Charles All saved Bob Lilly's job. Charles All saved Bob Lilly's job.
I disagree.
Saved Bob Lilly's job.
I disagree.
I disagree too, but I want that to be.
Yeah, I don't think we're 1 loss or 2 losses away from Lilly getting sacked, and I don't think we should be, honestly. I think that's probably just too reactionary and not probably going to fix anything. I'm still in the camp of no Lilly next year, but keep him this year. That's where I'm at. I know a lot of people are past that point, but I'm still thinking that write it out.
Yeah. And I'm still in the camp of, at least you might be able to sign some players to new contracts that are out of contract, because they know things are different next year ahead of time. But I don't know.
Since we're pretty much at the end, can I bring up something USL related but not Hounds related? Did you see the Mike Watts hot sauce incident on yesterday's game?
No, I missed
Orange County. Okay, so Orange County game. They have this thing. They have their own hot sauce. It has ghost peppers. It's super hot, right? Well, they do something in the stadium where they give you Russian roulette with hot sauce. So there's 4 wings. 3 of them have regular, just not hot sauce, typical hot sauce. And then 1 of them has their special ghost pepper hot sauce. And so on air, they play the wing roulette. And Mike Watts gets the one with the hot sauce, and he just looks miserable. But then you think, oh, that's funny. Ha ha ha. They're going to cut, because this is halftime. So they're going to cut to, later and whatever, it's over. Instead, the madman takes the hot sauce that he's been holding in his hand to like show like, oh, they have their own hot sauce. He unscrews the cap and just starts chugging it. And it was like he did it because he thought it'd be funny. Then he's like, that was a bad idea. And so they cut away, and he's like, I'm gonna go find some milk. And that's how the segment ended.
Yeah, that is absolutely
fantastic.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. If there's clips online, look it up. Orange County, Mike Watts. It's it's hilarious.
So that sounds awful. Woof. Ugh. I'm not. I like a nice spice, but I want it to be flavorful. Hot sauce for the sake of heat. No thanks. Yeah. Oof.
Yeah, it was good.
No.
It was good.
So, all right. So we've got 2 more draws to add to our record this season. Don't feel great about them. We're not starting a tough home standoff, which means we've got Rhode Island in just a couple days. The week after that, Orange County comes to town. So at least that one is not a 6-point game. And then we finish off the homestand in the middle of August with Charleston.
I should also point out Rhode Island's also not a great team right now. Like they
they're
were
not.
even worse than Miami technically. For some reason, Miami felt like an easier win to me than Rhode Island. I don't know why that is, but in my mind, Rhode Island is a better team than Miami in general.
I mean, is that because even after this game, we have a clear winning record against Miami and we've only lost to them twice, and we've got just as many wins as we have draws and losses combined, right? Like Miami is a team we expect to beat. Rhode Island, I think, is a team where they had a lot of success last year, and they also beat us in the Jagermeister Cup at home, even though we beat them in the league away. But we see them as a team that we can say, yeah, there seems to be a little bit more parity there. And for me, at least, it's like, maybe it's ignorance of Miami, but there's a player that I don't want the Hounds to face in Rhode Island named Albertiqua. Right?
Yeah.
Like because I know what he is capable of, that it takes a moment for him to change a game. And he hasn't had that same success, but I still know that he's capable of that. And so it's like, I don't feel great about playing a team like that. I think we can beat them regularly. I hope we can beat them regularly, but I also recognize that in a tight game, anything can happen with a guy like that on the field.
But I guess the other point of this would be that this is another game where we should expect to win. If we're playing a team that's below the playoff lines, negative goal differential, not having a great season, you expect to win this game at home. And if we don't win this game at home, it is just adding to the list of questions that need to be asked about this season.
And so that brings me, I guess, to the question. These 3 games, Rhode Island, Orange County, and Charleston, what does a successful next 3 games look like for you, for the Hounds?
Just the next 3?
Yeah.
I would expect 4 points at least. I feel like that's being pretty generous, I think.
Mm-hmm.
1 win, 1 draw, and a loss. You're playing Charleston. Okay, Charleston, number 1 team in the league. Not quite running away with it from Louis, but they're still pretty high up there. We're at 41 points right now. Mm-hmm. They're a great team. Makes sense. Yeah, you lose that game. I don't think you don't want to look embarrassing with that game, but if you lose it, you lose it. You shouldn't lose it at home, but if you do, okay. Mm-hmm. Orange County also not. I mean, they're not terrible at in the West, but they are traveling all the way here. It's a away game for them, a long trip, and they're kind of in the same spot as we are in the standings for the West Coast. So I would expect a win there, mm-hmm. or at least a draw. And I'm being generous by saying a draw. I feel like that should also be a win any other year, but this year I'd be happy with a draw against them. Okay. And that brings us to Rhode Island, which is the game I feel like you have to win. So A win, a draw, and a loss. That's what I'm kind of predicting. I would hope for 6 points there, but I would be I would be okay with 4 points. But I think, yeah, that's where I'll put it.
Yeah. I am probably wrong about this, but there is something about this type of run with the way that the Hounds have been playing that it is not outside of the realm of the possibility for me to think that we're going to pick up at least a point against Charleston for some reason, right? Like that for some reason, it's just the game where they struggle to score and we either nab a cheap goal or it ends in a 0-0 tie. I don't know what to make of Orange County just because I don't think that anybody out west is in a position where it's really clear how good they are compared to the other teams, just because of how tight it is. And you're talking about a team that has 3 wins, draw, and a loss in their last 5 games in Orange County. And so they could be coming in having won 3 in a row. That is kind of something that I don't want to play a team that's hot. But it's just like, I mean, there are only 11 points between first and last in the West, which is bonkers. And so I just don't know how to evaluate those teams compared to the teams in the East, right? Like the teams in the East, it's like, yes, we should be better than Miami. Yes, we should be better than Birmingham. We should be better than Indy and Rhode Island and Hartford and the lowly Tampa. But I don't know how to look at these teams in the West and make a fair comparison because it's just so much more competitive. So I think I tend to agree. 4 points, and I feel, wow, that's great. We got a win.
I would not say that's great. I would say, well, that's
I'd say that's how I would feel. Hey, we got a win, right in there. And that's part of it because I'm not sure where we're going to score our goals to actually get wins. So if we can get a win, I feel really good. I'd love to see 2 wins. I think you're right. As much as I think that moving Bob Lilly on early is better, it's not going to happen. And so get what we can from these games in the meantime.
I think I will feel great if we get 6 points. I will feel okay if we get 4 points. If we get 4 points and that win is Charleston, do you feel differently?
I was going to ask you the question if we get 3 points, but it's against Charleston.
I'm not happy with 3 points, even if it's Charleston that we won against. I personally think that's still pathetic and not worthy of any praise. It's like, oh, you got a fluke win against the best team in the league, but you couldn't beat the teams that are well below you in the standings. Like, that's not something to be proud of, I don't think.
And that's kind of my same answer to your inverse of that question of if it's 4 points and the win against Charleston. That no, because Charleston is still going to be one of the top teams in the league at the end of the season, and they're going to drop points somewhere to somebody. It may just be a floundering Hounds team in a few weeks. I want to see us winning the games that we should be winning, not getting the exceptional win here or there.
Yeah, and I also just don't feel. Yeah, never mind. It's pretty much the same thing you said. Just the fact that beating the team that you're supposed to beat kind of is expected, and I don't think we should ever overlook that. So,
yeah. Well, I got nothing else, Josh.
Happy podcasts. Woo. Let's not do a middle of the day podcast again. This is more down than normal.
It's not so bad. I'm going to go down to the farmer's market, see if there's anything to get, and get some dinner. And, fun way to throw the end of the workday onto a Thursday. So those are our thoughts. Those are our lives and the things that we're doing. Hopefully some of you feel more positive. If you do, please tell us. If you feel worse, tell us that too. You know how to find us. But we should, I think, be back on Sunday with Mike. I don't know.
I believe so.
I think we are. But yeah. So we'll see you all really soon.
Later.